network. And man, today we got somebody that, oh my God, met him not too long ago, and I nicknamed him the Plaza Diesel.
Is that right?
Because when you're riding with him, we're gonna get into who we ride with mostly. But when he's at the front, he's just like a little engine diesel. He just stays there and just hold his tempo. And it's just always breathtaking to have him domesticating or having, we're pushing each other doing what we do as biking, as men, try to show who have more testosterone or less, or who can sprint, not sprint. But again, this is why we do what we do. We have fun doing it. Guys, again, I can't say enough thank you for all the people who have been subscribing, supporting, encouraging me. Really appreciate it. Going to keep on doing, going to keep on highlighting people in the Chicago network that makes it work, whether you're from the south, north, east, west. And you will see that, today, I think my Plaza Diesel, right, he's a true Northshore dad, okay? Because he literally lives on the North Shore.
True.
He's like, again, we're going to get into all that stuff, all right? But guys, can't thank you guys enough. All the people have come on the show so far, or plan to come on the show, all the lineup. We got some really amazing things, amazing people to really just get into knowing them, and just to see that we have some really, really cool people in Chicago that makes this thing work. And we support each other, not just in the cycling world, but we also support each other, basically kind of a mental health aspect, because we can talk to each other. We can have each other for helping us with, fixing bike question, life question, all these different things. Some of us are like brothers and sisters now, because that's how close we have gotten over the years. And I'm pretty sure maybe that my friend here has been riding with the Plaza groups since like the 1840s. So he's been riding for a very long time. We're going to get into all that stuff, all right, guys? But we're going to make it fun and learn about the Plaza Diesel right here. That's his nickname, the Plaza Diesel. So introduce yourself.
First time I've heard it, but I'll take it.
Let's get the ball rolling.
All right. So yeah, my name's Jeff, last name Greco. I've been riding bikes really my whole life, but with Plaza, that's the primary group I ride with. I think I started with them, I want to say 2018. So actually not that long with them. And on and off with Cortado. I've been riding with Cortado pretty much consistently the last 2 or 3 years. And before that, I was born in Chicago originally, so I've just always ridden my bike as a kid. I mean, when I was growing up, it was 70s and into the early 80s before I left the Chicago area and came back. But that's how we got around, getting from here to there. I lived in Oak Park. My cousin lived in the city on the west side, and we'd always bike between each other's places. I'd bike around town, going to friends' places, and that was our car, getting from here to there. And our generation, we're all latchkey kids born in the 70s, because we'd come home with the key and we'd let ourselves into the house. Nobody was home. So if you wanted to get somewhere, you got somewhere on your own. So that's kind of how I got started. And then 2008, I moved to New York with my family, which was a challenge, and didn't know anybody there. So I joined a bike club and was riding around there. And then when I came back, started riding with other groups. Actually, no, I'm misremembering. It was 2006 in New York. Came back in 2008, started riding with other groups in Chicago. And then I happened a decade later upon Plaza, and after we had moved to the North Shore, and that's just how it kind of got started. And I don't know when Randy, you had to be what, 3-4 years ago?
Like about 3-4, yeah, because I think I invited myself onto you guys, right? Because I came out and, I was looking for some safe riders. Because I've been in Judson and I've been in all the rides, and I was like, I was going around a little bit, and I found that you guys are probably one of the safest group in Chicago in this area to ride with. So I'm like, yeah. Plaza, a much older crowd, but they're very strong, okay? And they will push you. And if you really want to learn how to bike in a pace line, I highly recommend coming to Plaza and see how it's done. Not this punchy surgery, flipping back, jumping in, out at the pace. That's not.
No, you get yelled at if you do that.
Exactly. And I learned the hard way too, because I didn't really know about pace lining. So the first time I went, I thought everybody gonna do a pace line, and I was there, and it was only maybe the top 8 to 12 guys do the pace line. Yeah. The rest of the group stay behind and they shield the back, and you watch those guys do their thing,
Yeah.
and this is how pace line should be done. You can't have like 30 people in a pace line. That gets so crazy.
Yeah, then you got to break it up a little bit, or people have to be comparably, conditioned and whatnot to be doing it
Exactly.
together. Yeah.
But guys, I highly recommend Plaza. You can look them up.
Yeah.
They meet at Kelderwood Station and on weekends.
Weekends, yeah.
And then you meet at Plaza, and
it's weekends and Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Monday and Friday are a little different. So, but all those days, yeah.
you guys meet at Plaza.
Well, we
Del
used to
Lago.
meet at Plaza. We used to meet at Plaza del Lago pre-COVID, and then post-COVID, it got moved over to train station in Kenilworth, which is not far. It's like a mile away.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
But again, guys, I'm telling you, if you want to learn pace line, like I recommend this group. Going up Waukegan, it's the smoothest bike ride you'll ever be on, and just watch how people are all in sync and just moving in the pace line and just having a blast, and just watch them do their thing. So recommend that.
We're not always in sync. We try to be.
Well,
Yeah.
I say 85% of the time.
Yeah, for sure.
But
we do our best.
it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's good enough. Other times, the guys do pace line. 0% of the time, this is not what a pace line should be. So you guys do a pretty good job.
We strive for it.
Yeah. So you said you grew up in Oak Park. Man, so many people from Oak Park here. Did you do Sabin West from back in the days? Because all these guys are like from Oak Park area, somewhere around. It's pretty interesting.
I left Oak Park in 1984. So I haven't been living in Oak Park for a long time. I was just a kid when we left. And we moved to New Jersey from Oak Park, and I didn't come back to the Chicago area until after college after that. But so I just grew up riding my bike around Oak Park, and like I was describing, just getting from here to there, visiting with friends, and my cousin and I, we did a lot of bike riding. There was one point, I think I had to be like 10 or 11 years old, and he and I, we rode 90 miles in one day.
At 10?
I was 10. He was 2 years older than I was. We rode from Oak Park down to like Hinsdale area or something like that. Stopped somewhere because there was a girl who was interested down there. Who lived down there.
12.
So we stopped
at 12.
Well, he was like 13. And then we played tennis with her for 3 hours, and then we rolled back. So the whole day was 90 miles with a 3-hour tennis break. And so,
At 10.
Yeah, well, we were like, but another time he and I we rode from Glencoe, which doesn't sound like it's far now, but back then it was far. We rode. Actually, no, we started in Chicago from his place. We rode up to Great America, and then I got a flat tire up at Great America, and we changed it out, put a new tube in. I must have pinched it or something. So then we took a second tube I had, put it in, and it didn't work out. We couldn't fix it. So I had to call my stepmother, and she was in Glencoe, and man, was she pissed when she had to come pick us up there
is no cell phone time. You have to go to a
we found a payphone. We did indeed, and called her, and because she was the only one we could get a hold of. We tried everybody else first because we knew she was going to be pissed. But she's the only one we got a hold of. So she came and picked us up, threw our bikes in the trunk of her old Oldsmobile. She had this huge boat of a car, and drove back. So a few experiences like that.
What age was this?
Oh, that was probably, by then I think that was a summer, and I was kind of back for the summers. I was probably 13 by then or something like that, 13, 14.
Yeah, but still, you were 10, almost 90 miles when you were 10?
I think I might have been 11. I can't remember. It was a long time ago.
10, 11, that's 90 miles.
My cousin was older. He was sort of, the one who had it all planned out.
Okay,
So
did you guys have goose and gels and...
Oh, no. We had one bottle in the case.
Exactly.
With water. That's it. Yeah, we stopped. We'd fill up the bottle and keep going. Stop again.
This even made the story even more amazing because at 10 years old, to go that's 45 miles away from home.
Yeah.
No cell phone, no internet, no Facebook,
Nobody had cell phone
nothing.
back then.
Nothing.
Yeah.
Wow. That's brilliant. That's pretty cool.
Well, we didn't have Google Maps either. We traced it out on a map, figured out what we were going to do. Yeah.
And where were your parents? I mean, what did they know you guys were gone? And,
Oh no, we would tend to not tell them because we don't want to hear them say no. You can't do that. So they just tell you, get out of the house all the time. So get out of the house, get on the bike, go somewhere. They'd go somewhere half the time they wouldn't know. Only if we got in trouble.
then is the problem.
Yeah, then we would be stuck somewhere.
That's a childhood. That's a childhood. That's how you should grow up and experience life.
Oh,
now we are stuck on cell phones and tablets and blah. Like some days I tell my kids from school, get out, go to the go to the park.
Outside, go.
Tell my son, take the kids to the park. You guys go hang out because they don't want to sit inside. I'm like, no, that's not gonna work. But that's a pretty cool story though. That is awesome. So you say you moved to New York. What were you doing?
We moved to New Jersey.
New Jersey. Why?
I was my parents were divorced since I was 5, so I lived in Oak Park. My dad lived downtown. We would go to my dad's. My sister and I went to my dad's every weekend till we moved to New Jersey. So then when my mother moved to New Jersey due to getting remarried, and so I went to high school in New Jersey. And,
so you're a Jersey boy. Where's the accent? You say coffee?
Oh, my accent's pretty Chicago. I don't know what to tell you. You don't spend your whole life here. I mean, I've spent other than 8 years. I've been maybe more, maybe 10 years. I've been outside.
Okay, so you never
Chicago. Yeah, I mean, you can't take the Chicago out of my accent. But yeah, so then at 14, I remember I was 14. Was I 14? No, I might have been 13 actually when I went. So because we were in New Jersey, my mother arranged for me to do a bicycle tour with some YMCA that was somewhere in New York State. And I went with a good buddy of mine from Oak Park, and we did a bike tour with the YMCA through Cape Cod and into Massachusetts area, and like through Cape Cod and then up to Martha's Vineyard. We got on a sailboat actually for a week after riding for a week. And then the year after that, I enjoyed it so much, I did it again. I went to, not with him though, I did it on my own. I went to Europe, and we started in Amsterdam, rode through the Netherlands, took a train through Germany, and then rode through Denmark, and then went home. Wow. And then the year after that, third one was Nova Scotia. And that was a good one because Nova Scotia was super mountainous, and you have all these amazing views out in the ocean, these huge cliffs, and that was like typically 75 miles a day, that one. And
wow.
Your bikes were loaded. So
what kind of bikes were you riding back then?
So I had what back then was called a sport touring bike, which was just some cheap steel bike that you could put a rack on. And it couldn't handle a front rack. So I just had a rear rack just overloaded with a bunch of crap, and it handled terribly, but it was fine. So we rode around and
you guys were doing like 30 miles an hour?
Yeah, right. Oh no, you'd be lucky to do 12 miles an hour with all the, you had like at least 50 pounds of stuff on your bike. I mean,
so you're like packing and riding and stopping and.
Yeah, we would camp out most places, and sometimes you'd stay in a hostel, but mostly you'd camp out with tents and sleeping bags. And then you had like all the pots and stove and stuff for the group to carry. So who got stuck carrying that, you'd rotate through. And when you got stuck carrying that, man, you hated it. Because
how big was the group? How many people you did that with?
So it ranged from one thing to the next, but I'd say there were about 12 kids, maybe on one. I'd say it was between 8 and 15 kids, depending on. Yeah, it was a good size, and they had two.
What age was this?
So the first one I did, I was like 13. It was mostly 13, 14-year-olds, and then the last one I was probably like 15 or 16 or something like that.
Man, that sounds dope. Do they still have those things now? Do they still?
Yeah, they still do that. Yeah, my son did a trip like that in Vermont when he was similar age. Yeah, he didn't like it though.
So now I see, like, I called it diesel earlier, and now it all makes sense. Like you had that old school muscle memory that I didn't know about. I mean, these things didn't make a big difference. I mean,
sure.
It's like a Jamaican who have like, we're fast sprinters because we have fast twitch muscle, right? So you've been biking these long distances for a long time.
Yeah, there's muscle memory.
Memory. So now, it's all coming together now.
And my cousin and I, we kept riding. Like when I moved back to Chicago as adults, he and I would go out and ride, and we'd go 20, 30, sometimes 40 miles together, and we just did that regularly. It's not until like 2006, when I moved to New York, both he and I, now in separate locations, we had to figure out who we were going to ride with because neither of us gave it up. So we both joined different clubs. And then when I came back in '08, so besides the whole childhood thing, I took my family out because of a job from 2006 to 2008 and came back to Chicago. So when I came back to Chicago, that's when I joined up with his bike club that he had found here, which was out of Lake County. So I was riding
What's the name of the club?
Bicycle Club of Lake County. That's out of Gurnee mostly. Gurnee, Libertyville.
Is it still around or?
Yeah, they're still around. They also ride out of Wakanda, I think.
Wakanda forever. No.
Yeah. Not that one, but yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good group. Also a very safe group. And I kind of ran into Plaza in 2018 because I was looking for some group I could ride with out of my back door instead of having to get in a car with a bike.
Gotcha. So my wife, Nicole, she has an uncle that lives in Wakanda. He lives right on the lake. You can see there's a famous restaurant that's right on the lake up there, and I forgot the name of it. But you can see that restaurant from his back door.
Okay.
He's on the main drag as you pass the restaurant and like you're heading out of town. He lives close to like a taco place across the street and some pizza. I forgot it, but
I think I know where it might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm in Wakanda a fair amount for riding it, but my cousin, the same cousin that I would do some riding with, he's actually in Wakanda now. So,
all right, next
way out there.
Next time when I go to Wakanda, I'll message because he might live. Man, it'd be crazy if my uncle actually know him.
Could be.
That'd be pretty wild.
Yeah, could be.
Wow. Yeah. So what was the name of were you biking the club in New York? What was the name of the club you biked in New York?
In New York, it was New York Cycle Club, NYCC, and that's a hardcore group. It's huge. They run out of. It's kind of centered in Manhattan, but they run out of I think several of the boroughs, and there's got to be at least a couple hundred members. You have to pay, it's some nominal fee, but they just want to keep people sort of engaged and conscientious and really safe. But they have very hardcore rules about safety, and
fair enough.
They have all their rides, they have only so many slots. So you have to sign up. If you get in, you can get a slot. They do fill up. And I mean, some of their hardcore rules are like you show up with a tri-bike with those bars on it, they're like, no, you're out. No,
okay, your uncle sucks. You're out.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And then another hardcore rule they have is you come into an intersection. If you're in front, you do not say clear. So everybody's responsibility is for them. It's you have to check yourself. You can say going or something like that, but you don't say clear. Which I've never run in any other group that has rules that are that hardcore, but.
I mean, you say clear because people understand clear easily. So
correct. Yeah. So, but they said, they were kind of religious about it all. So
like
it's a bit much.
No ride for you. You go. No soup. You go.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
Wow. That's too much. That's too intense for me.
Yeah, but the riding was, agreed. But the riding out there was beautiful, and that was kind of, I mean, it was the only game in town I knew about, and they were always out, and it was good because you could on the weekends. Central Park's pretty much closed to street traffic, so you can always do loops in there.
Yeah, I've been to Central Park on the weekends, and everybody's running and everybody's biking.
Exactly.
And this place is loaded with people.
Totally. Those lanes are big, so you got plenty of space. It doesn't get overcrowded. And then the other thing I used to do, which was great, is you go, because we were on the Upper West Side, you go up north, go over the George Washington Bridge, then you're in New Jersey, and then you have all the Palisades there. Just beautiful riding up there.
Never in
New York, and stuff.
Yeah, maybe one day. I was in Schenectady a couple years ago, and I ran, but I never got to bike.
Gotcha.
But that was pretty cool. And driving up to Schenectady, I was like, man, that's the trees and stuff. I'm like, this place is so beautiful.
Yeah, no, the riding there.
I couldn't believe it.
The riding there is amazing. It's just so beautiful over there.
Wow. So you say you went to New York for work. So what do you do for work?
So yeah, that's always a challenging one for me to explain. But so I'm trained as a mathematician. That's what I went to school for, and I'm what is referred to an ABD, all but dissertation, which in my case is literally what it is. I I got to the point where I was working on my thesis and I just got disillusioned, decided to do something else. So I guess closest and easiest description for what I do is quantitative finance, but I've just worn all kinds of different hats throughout my career. I've had, I think, 8 different jobs.
Wow.
And teach as an adjunct. I have at 2 different institutions for financial engineering or financial math. Different places call it different things. So I started doing that in 2002 at the University of Chicago. I retired from that in 2021, but sort of got wrapped up in a different program at Carnegie Mellon, which I started the same year so I had an overlapping year, and then I kind of think I've tapered it off. I'm down to just 1 week a year now, starting this year. But yeah, so I don't know. That's kind of what I do.
So you teach or you do finance stuff?
Well, that's sort of the adjunct teaching. That's a side job, which doesn't really pay much. It's just, to be engaged and pass on some of the knowledge and help out some of these programs. But now I work at a company called Milliman, and mostly my job is devising investment strategies for different types of investment funds. So
gotcha. So do you work? I mean, I don't know anything about finance other than I get money and my wife spends it. that is all I know.
Yeah,
which go back into our kids. That's how it works. That's it. I'm like, okay, I get paid. All right, that's it. It's gone. Yep. Like today is my daughter's birthday is tomorrow, so my wife is out now buying all stuff because she wants like a Japanese theme party, because this whole singing stuff now with
she's got a Japanese bug.
Exactly. So upstairs we have like all these things, lamps and stuff, and then tomorrow she wants like Asian, so she's gonna go to like Chinatown tomorrow with her girl, her friends, and they're gonna do like manicure, pedicure, eat Japanese food and whatever all day tomorrow. Then they come home and then they're gonna have like.
What time are we gonna get started?
I know, right? you're more, but tomorrow's Roots party, right? So we can't make it that one. So then after light the grill up, after grill hot dogs and burgers and stuff for the kids tomorrow. A party after party.
Yeah. So
I'll be stuck with that. So let's see how that go. If it runs early or late, I might swing by Root for a little bit. But
that'd be great.
Let's see how it work out. But that's so much finance. But yeah, I didn't know that. So now I know. That's your probably a lot of those math stuff come into when you're writing on all the calculations that you're doing. Does it help? Do you think it's help?
It makes me pretty analytical about the stuff. I try to keep it to myself. I don't try to, push things or have my ideas. Someone will say something, or you'll read about something. I'll think about it and say, "Well, yeah, that's wrong." Sometimes.
Yeah. which brings me to the point. So what size tire are you running on your bike now?
Oh, like everybody else, 28.
28s.
Yeah, I mean, tomorrow or the next year, we'll probably all move up to 30s, and then the year after that will be on 32s, right?
Yeah, I was running 25s and I went 28, and I'm like,
you went 28 before I did.
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, I've only been on 28s. I think now
since your trek.
Yeah, the truck I was riding 25. The previous truck I was riding 25s for a while, and I went up to 28s like I guess 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. Wow. I've been in 20s maybe about a little bit, 3 years, 2 years.
Okay. Yes.
And I mean, I tried them, and those things are.
Yeah. Once you put them on, you're like, I'm not going back.
Man, big difference, man. Yeah. You have the speed, you got the comfort, less vibration in your manly parts. So
exactly,
you can't beat that.
And I've been on 35s on like gravel bike and stuff, and 40s, but it seems like the incremental improvement in comfort from 25 to 28. That's most of it.
Yeah. And I've ridden. On my alley, I have actually been running some 32s.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So now I just switch back. I just put on some 28s now, but if I go out west or whatever, I might switch to 32s, but the 28s, man.
I mean, if they keep making those rims wider, we'll end up riding wider tires. It won't cost us anything.
They're already doing it.
Yeah,
I mean, Patrick reviewed all those things, and now the internals are like 2,500 now. So people have like bigger tires and stuff.
Right. You can't even buy them any narrower than probably 23 internal for the most part.
Exactly. Yeah. But that's nice. So how many bikes do you have?
Me, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I have 6 that go on the road, one that only is able to go inside. So I don't know if you want to count that as 6 or
No,
7.
hey, it counts. It's a bike. It's a bike. It's a bike. So
Even though it doesn't go anywhere.
what do you have a favorite bike, or are you just
Oh
have
yeah,
different? Which
yeah.
which?
The one you spend the most money on is always the favorite, right?
Yeah, that's why my wife is my favorite.
Yeah, there you go. There you go.
Because I spend the most money on her. But
For sure.
so that's the new Trek Madone
yeah.
with the funny looking.
Yeah, it's all funny looking. Yeah, I mean, I look, when I was a kid, I got into biking. I got the bug, and it was cool. And to me, nobody else thought it was. And then when I got my first summer job, I always thought, man, wouldn't it be great to get one of those super fancy bikes? And I looked at it once, and I realized if I took all the money I earned for the summer, I could afford one. I never did it. I never spent big money on a bike my whole life. Like I had a $300 aluminum bike from Cannondale. It was my race bike. And that thing, I rode that thing for years. And then some guy I worked for, he had this really fancy bike called a Kestrel, and he never rode it. And he had it for a while. And he said, you should just take my bike. I never ride it. He wanted to give it to me. And I was like, no, I can't do that. And he kept pushing on me. And after like a year and a half of pushing on me, he said, okay, fine, I'll try it. So I took the bike and tried it, and I didn't give it back.
I think I know that bike. I know that bike.
Yeah,
that's the bike you end up.
You saw
away.
that one.
Yeah.
And
they're running 650. It was a 650 cc.
They were smaller wheels,
650 cc,
and you could only fit a 23 by tire on it. And it got to the point where you couldn't really maintain it anymore. But that thing I rode that thing for 15, 20, 20 years.
Wow. And it was carbon too.
It was carbon. Yeah, it was one of the very first carbon bikes. And eventually, it's because I didn't spend any money on that one, but it was a really nice bike. And then eventually, when it was completely worn out, then I went and bought like this super fancy Trek because I'm like, well, I can afford it, and I really want it, and I didn't regret it.
Well, you could afford it, but I think your wife also said yes.
She did. She did. Of course.
Because if not, it's not going to happen.
Yeah, exactly. So then that thing unfortunately met its demise last year. So I ended up replacing it with Trek's discount program. So that's now the bike that it's totally my favorite.
And you can definitely, compared to all your bikes, you can feel the difference with this bike, the speed, because you have a titanium bike, right? So you can
and that's new too.
You can feel the difference.
I mean, I can always feel the difference between bikes. I don't know that it too much matters. Like that $300 aluminum bike was every bit as fast as the nicest bike I've been on. I mean, maybe it wasn't quite as aero or whatever, but like I can't tell the difference. There's a difference in comfort, and you can feel like this one steers this way, and this one goes over the rough road in this way. So they're all different experiences, but I don't think that really changes much else.
I went back to aluminum. That's aluminum because one, I just felt like with the carbon bikes I have, like the Trek and stuff, I feel like I was losing power. The bike was just too flexing too much, and I wasn't getting that forward sprint out of it. And I went back to aluminum, and now that bike, oh my God.
Yeah. I believe
flex, and it's just like, oof,
exactly. And
it's gone.
The Madone I had that got damaged, that one, loved that bike. That was the favorite bike I'd ever been on. And, I thought there was nothing wrong with it. And then the new Madone that I replaced it with, that one, when you get out of the saddle and you just stomp on the pedals, man, it's instant, just right up to speed, doesn't lose anything. And they just built it way stiffer. So, little subtleties like that you feel from one bike to the next, but not much more, right?
That's awesome. So do you ever like race crits or anything like that?
Nope. I don't do, as I was mentioning to you earlier, I've done 3 races in my life. They were all Race the Lake. And, I'm out there to have fun. I'm not out there. I'm not getting paid. I don't want to get injured. I don't want to overexert myself and be, have trauma for the next ride. So Race the Lake, in the 3 years I did it, I had a good day. I had one of the best bicycling experiences for a day ever in my life. And I had one of the worst. But all 3 times, there was so much carnage and crashes and injuries around me and near misses for myself. I thought it's just not worth it. I mean, races I think are too much risk.
Same thing. Fair enough. This is why everybody should say I should go do crits because I'll do okay because
Oh yeah,
blah,
you'd
blah.
be a monster on a crit.
And I'm like, the risk is way too high. And I've seen my friends, they crash and intelligentsia. I mean, Kichawa Grit recently happened and I was talking to a friend of mine and 15 minutes later I saw him, he had no skin in his leg.
Ooh.
I saw one guy in the last lap, went outside to watch him finish, crashed, messed up his, I'm like, again, for what?
Not worth it.
I'm not getting paid for it. I'm not, I mean, of course, the enjoyment and the fun out of it, but I did the risk reward. And I think I will stick to my group rides because again,
you're out, you're having fun, you got enough challenge.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna try to kill me like in races where people want to win, and I'm like, yeah, no. So no crits. No, but I have done race leg 3 times. Mm-hmm. What about bike to drive? Have you ever thought about?
Oh yeah, I did that a bunch, and I did that a fair amount with my kids. In fact, my daughter was doing it with me all through high school. Now she's got to get back to college before the bike drive even happens. So I think it's happening.
That was awesome seeing her when she came out with us a couple weeks ago. And, I was like, man, I'm like, man, we were going a little bit too, but we went chill pace. But for her, I can tell she don't bike a lot. But man, just to see you and your daughter out there biking, that was so cool because I want to have my kids bike with me.
For sure. It's the best thing ever,
priceless.
Right?
I mean, nothing can be this. Me and my son, I don't tell him this, but when we bike together, it's the coolest thing. Imagine me both my boys out there. We're about the same size. They have my bikes, so we ride, and it's just like, and they're like, "Oh, I'm faster than your dad," and I'm like, "Yeah, you are." But you have no idea who you're biking with, son.
I wish I had that good luck where I was the same size as my kids because then they could just use my bike. My son's he's like 6'4", he just towers over me, and then my daughter, she's 5'7", which is like normal, but she's just not as tall, so they can't just go take one of my nicer bikes.
Yeah, so if that's the case, then you should talk to when your son is in town.
He's in town all the time.
Yeah, you should ask Mason Roca to borrow one of his bikes.
There you go. He's got to be even taller than that.
Mason. Yeah, Mason is 6'8".
Yeah, he's
6'7" now because he's older now, but he's like officially 6'8". So ask Mason. Say, hey Mason, let me borrow one of your older bikes, and
there you go.
You probably have no objection against.
I don't think my son's into it. My daughter would do it.
Really?
Do it.
Yeah. So me and my son have the same name. So Omar. So this is his bike. Okay. Whenever he rides this bike, and other bikes no, because if he crashes, I will mess up with my good stuff. So he rides this one whenever.
They're all going to be the same speed.
My S-Works. So he gets ride the S-Works.
Remember when I first saw you, you showed up on this very bike, and I'm looking at it, and I'm reading it, I'm looking at it, reading it, and I'm like, oh boy.
I mean, I can't afford S-Works, but I can make a bike.
That's awesome.
Call it S-Works.
That's awesome.
You can't beat it.
How did you get started in cycling? Because I know you're a runner.
Yes.
From the past.
Right. So
and you still do.
And I still do a little bit, but what happened was when I lived in Miami, and I had a bunch of friends who were triathletes. I mean, in Miami, I know all the people in triathlon world in Miami. And I just couldn't afford a bike. Couldn't. And then my first bike I bought because my friend Kobe was saying, hey, you should get a bike, but get a smaller one. And I'm like, I should get a 56. He said, no, get a 54. And I bought a 54 James Ventura. And that was way too small. Yeah. And after like about 15 miles, I just didn't feel comfortable. And that was it. And I stopped biking. That was like maybe 2013 maybe. And I gave up.
You ride a 58, right?
Ride a 58. And I just never biked anymore. And I was just still focusing on running. And then I met this beautiful girl. And I was like, I had my James still. And he said, hey, let's go for a bike ride, which I was riding. And she was fantastic triathlete, Ironman, all the good stuff. And I invited her for a bike ride. And I want to impress her, like I can bike too. So literally, she's one of the motivation why I got into biking.
Okay.
I mean, I've always wanted to do it, but I couldn't afford it. And then when I met her, I'm like, I got to get to this stuff. So we did it in Miami for a little bit. And then she moved here and I was in Miami by myself. And I'm like, okay, she's gone. No need to bike anymore. Just kept on running. And then again, still couldn't afford a bike. And then when I finally moved to Chicago, I was like, I can afford a bike. So I started out with a Trek 2.0, aluminum, then from there. But literally, my wife was one of the big roles why I got into biking.
Yeah, okay.
But I've always wanted to bike before her, but I just couldn't afford it. And then I met her father. He's a cyclist.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yes, he's an Iron Man and all the different things. He's a runner. Her father's like 6'4", 6'5", and then they took me like on the like single track, and I'm like, I got something to prove, man. So you know that glory is. I'm like, I need to show this guy that hey, I'm a runner, but I also can be a good biker. So they took me on the single track. Her brother is like amazing, like the weasel in the single track with the skill levels maxed out to like crazy stuff. So I'm like, okay, and then after that, I'm like, cool. So when I moved here in 2018, I joined ERC as a runner, but I wasn't connecting with the people. I mean, they're fantastic, amazing people, but I'm like, I wasn't digging it. I'm like, and then 2019, I finally was able to find a bike I could afford on Facebook Marketplace. I bought it, found EBC. That's what I started biking with. So I met Andrew Van Til, and then from biking with EBC for quite some time, these guys used to kill me. I was okay, but it was hard. It wasn't easy. And then I messaged Dave Lipinski on Facebook, and he never responded because Andrew said, hey, you should message Dave to come to Cortado. And Dave never responded. But so then I showed up, and I told Dave eventually, like, man, I messaged you on Facebook and you never respond to my message, but he never checked Facebook. That was the deal.
I see. Yeah.
So I just showed up at Andrew Van Til, and just kept on joining the Cortado. I'm like, this is where I want to be.
Sure.
And I just basically just start phasing out of running and just start biking. And then I brought my running fast twitch endurance to cycling.
When I first ran into you were pretty new to the sport then, and to the Chicago area.
Very, very, very new. I just got into it.
So now this all makes sense because I've seen your cycling style evolve from basically the very introduction to it to where you are now.
Yeah.
Right. Because like when you started, okay, it wasn't obvious that you had just started because you were strong and you're still really strong. You're stronger, but you had all the endurance and the thing too is the motivation. Like you were there, you
don't understand how much I really love biking. Like
we all understand because we all love it too.
Yeah, but just the level of just like just being out there, I can go further, I can go faster, I can meet new people. And I thought I knew a lot of people in Chicago cycling. I don't. I've been from bike rides. I'm like, I didn't know all these different groups exist, and I'm meeting all these new people.
Yeah, there's so many.
Expanding my horizon. I mean, that's exciting. In the beginning in Miami, it was the same thing for running. Like I thought I knew a lot of people, and I started expanding different run clubs in Miami. I think I was in about 18 run clubs in Miami.
Whoa.
I was in 18. I run with everybody.
I wouldn't have even guessed I had that many.
Oh, more than that now for sure.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe more than 50 running clubs in Miami because you have like Miami, you have like North, you got like South, like Kendall area. You have
all those different
Miami, you got like North, so there's like run clubs. You got South Beach run
Miami
club.
Beach.
Exactly. There's a bunch of them, black, white, pink, purple, this, that group, all sort of different stuff. So the hashers and all sorts. So yeah, Miami has a big running community. And then I thought running in Miami was big, and I moved to Chicago, and I went to like Lakeshore Drive on the weekends. So many people.
Yeah, well, not
so
in the
many
winter,
people. But so many people. I was like, I thought it was a race. No race. It's like Kara practicing out some of those groups and stuff. Was like,
but they were just running together.
Just running.
I see.
I mean, like in Miami nowadays, the Brooklyn Run Club, and they have like sometimes 400 runners that show up.
Wow.
It's pretty cool. So that's kind of my background. So my wife was instrumental and influenced from her dad and trying to prove to him that, hey, I can do stuff. And then over time I got better, and you learn, how to bike with a group, you mature. And this is something that was crazy where back then somebody takes off, I follow them. We even with a riding plan. Right, I'll chase people. No riding plan, I stick to it. Like if you want to go chase, I'm gonna chase you. This is the riding plan because I'm mature. Because now I know what I can do.
Sure.
And I think most people know what I can do.
Oh, we know what
so. So I had to prove myself to nobody.
Yeah, you don't have to prove yourself ever again because we see what you can do.
Exactly. So if there's a ride plan, I stick to it. And if people want to go crazy, I'm like, all right, we're gonna do what we do. But if you guys if this is what you want to do, I'm gonna open the legs up, and it's gonna be that's a different ballgame.
Sure,
but again, it takes time.
Yeah, but you don't come in. You're not one of those guys that comes and blows up the ride.
Exactly.
You
exactly.
Keep it, you dial into whatever the mood of the group is.
Exactly. And my rule is I go to a group fight for the first time. I go to the back, I stay at the back and look to see the dynamics of the group.
Right.
And once you learn dynamics of the group, then you move up. Because you might not know the course, you might not do something stupid, and
sure.
So you look to see, and over time, and then people appreciate stuff like that. Like people show up to write, and zoom, you're like, what are you doing? We don't even know you, right? Show some respect, you know.
Yeah, you want to keep it safe. You don't want to disturb whatever it is. The rhythm of the group
exactly.
is.
So I don't mean over time I had to learn this, because in the beginning I wasn't like this.
Well, why would you?
Because I didn't know.
You know.
Exactly. So I had to learn a few things, and I learned from you, and learned from Murray and all the Plaza guys, and the one thing I've learned is, like, if I see like Drew and Murray, those guys bickering, stay out of it.
Yeah, leave them alone. Leave them alone. Let them have.
They have been biking together forever, and they're still friends. So I've learned my lesson.
Yeah.
Just
like it seems like they're bickering. They're not always bickering.
Yeah. It's all friendly. It's all friends. Anyway, so you see a bike with Plaza. What's the culture like in Plaza, so people could know if they want to show up for a bike ride? What's the culture like? So
the culture is, well, certainly the highest priority, I think, is safety in the group. Other than that, I'd say the culture's, it's a weird combination, because it's cycling. It's always a weird combination. So it's simultaneously chill, and no one's there to kill themselves and completely empty their tank. But at the same time, there's a certain degree of rigidity to, we're here, we're going to do this, and this is our route, this is where we're going to have to sprint, this is where we're going to take it easy. So I mean, there's a rhythm to it like anything else. But and I think what the Plaza group, I'd say, like, and I've only been riding with them for not much longer than you have, so I stuck with them because they're always out most days of the week reliably, and they don't say, okay, we're going to go at 6:30, and then no, let's make it 7, let's make it 8. No, they're going to go at 6:30, and everyone goes at 6:30. So they're reliable and safe and pretty inclusive. I mean, it's a cycling group, so you have to respect whatever kind of rhythm and rule sets they might have. But then once you take that in, then they'll accept most people in there. And the other thing is, it's aspirational in that group, right? And you've probably heard this from others, is there's such a wide range of ages. Like, you're younger than I am. You're probably better than a solid decade younger than I am. And I'm one of the younger people in that group. And so we have people in their early 70s, and we have people all the way down through to my age in their 50s. And then we have some people show up that are in their 40s. Sometimes we get people in their 30s. And somehow that whole group still rides together. And like Kathy, she never dropped. She's with the ride.
She's no matter what. Kathy, you're my hero. I'm going to talk to you.
She's amazing. Yeah. No matter what. I mean, she will always be there. And so it's aspirational. You're like, okay, this is a group that can teach me how to age with this sport, how to do it gracefully. And we'll see. Maybe 5 years from now, we're going to have people in our late 70s with the group. I don't know. We'll see. But,
I mean, when I bike with the group, and I see guys like Hassan, I see Drew, I see Scott, for Kathy, Ruth, Beth, and just to see everybody just in their elements, and we're doing our thing. And again, safety. Again, hands down. This is the safest group I've biked with in this area.
Yeah.
And if they have a biking plan, they're going to stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? We might have a few pickups here and there, but that's just where we know the ride going to get a little bit spicy. Pick up a little bit, when you're at the front, or you're in Scott, or coming down, what's that? That's Old Plain.
Mm-hmm.
We know from the is that the Palace or whatever that thing is, all the way back to Buckley. Hey, buckle up.
Sure, but then we're gonna, after that's over, then we're gonna regroup,
and then we'll do our thing again. I mean, and that's just always the theme. And when you guys go out west, and we need to do your route pretty soon, okay? The Greco route.
Yeah,
we need to do one of these Sundays. But man, Plaza guys, if you guys can join them. I mean, and then you guys have kind of the family aspect too, right? So you guys hang out together.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah, I'd say Cortado hangs out even more, but I think that's just, I don't know, age differences, and
but for sure. Plaza, these guys, we're always hanging out with each other like all the time. We have fratties, We have Sages and bike out to do fixed bike stuff, and I'm just because I switched this bike now. So when Patrick helped me to make this bike, he waxed the chain.
Oh, okay.
So I have to keep on waxing it. So I was
How do you like that chain waxing?
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's better, right? It's easier.
Yeah. So I just messaged Dave and said, hey, Dave, do you want to do another waxing seminar? Because I bought a bunch of chain. And the whole point of the seminar is have Dave wax all 4 chains for me. But I didn't tell him that.
Yeah, that's a good one.
That's the goal.
And get me in there next time. I'll bring my chains and have him wax those too.
When it's going to happen, I'm going to tell you because I just spoke to him today and he said, of course you can do it. I'm like, so, but again, I want people to take a bunch of shit. I have some wax here too. We can all go up and just have a wax on, wax off, Mr. Miyagi moment over there. So that's what I like, again, with you guys, man. That's the fun factor. And for sure, you and Scott always made that ride fun for me whenever I show up.
Well, we try to keep it fun.
Yeah, that's sure. That's the most beautiful thing I can ever see.
That's kind of our dynamic, I think, Scott and I. We try to best the other one a little bit, but not much. And then so half the time you're being supportive, half the time you're presenting a challenge, but not much of a challenge, right? Just keep it civil and easygoing, but fun.
Yeah, for sure. So I know you don't race, but any big bike packing trip for this year or anything that it's the same?
No, it's been pretty boring the last few years. I haven't even done many organized rides. I pretty much just go out with Cortado and Plaza, and sometimes I'm by myself, but usually not. And I aspire to sometimes, or sometimes I'll travel somewhere, but then I'm usually by myself, and I've got a folding bike that I'll take with me sometimes, and then I'll just explore something. But I don't have anything planned this year. Pretty simple.
I need to get you, because there's some really cool rides. I've been trying to encouraging plans to go to some of these, right? Because coming up on the September 14th in Nichols' hometown in Sturgis, a ride called the Free Mondo. It's free. You sign up, you get a free t-shirt, you ride the course. It's really coal. You can do as hard as you want, so you have different distances, pace group, whatever you want to do. And it's just beautiful. Your start time and your finish time is exactly the same because there's no stoplights, there's nothing.
I see. Okay.
Okay. So that's a good one. I've done the ups and downs in Elizabeth.
Oh, I've heard of that one. Yeah,
that's a fun one.
That one's supposed to be great.
Yeah, I've done it like 3-4 times already.
Okay.
I think Sarah did it, Dave did it. I invited all come out. I do it like every year, and I want to go back to do the course by myself, maybe in a couple of weeks. Again, there's always fun stuff.
I saw you did some ride. I think you were alone. You went like all the way to Sterling by yourself?
Yes. So I've been wanting to ride some crazy distance. So I rode from home all the way to Morrison, Illinois. It was 170 miles by myself.
Yeah.
So that was so cool. And my God, it was just an epiphany. The cool thing with Strava, you can I want to go from point A to point B. And you tell it, do you want the shortest point? Do you want the most
less elevation,
whatever, no gravel, whatever? You tell it what I want.
Yeah.
So because of that, it ended up putting me at 160 something miles. And then I realized that when I was going up, I'm like, wait a minute, I could have gotten here a long time before this, but because it put me on the most popular road.
Sure. And
I end up going right to this asbestic, whatever road that we go on when we go to Aptekissic Road. I'm like, wait a minute, I could have been here a long time ago. Because they put me through the fort, then come through Elm, then come back down the roundabout. And then,
everyone does that. That's why it probably put you there, because it's popular.
I could have taken you guys' road, just go Dundee.
Could have, yeah.
And then just pop out and then go over there. And I'm like, anyway, but that's gave me more miles.
Sure.
And the shortest would have been like about 130 miles.
Well, aren't you glad you didn't do that?
I am very happy because that was so much fun. I rode through Byron. I rode through, is it Algonquin?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was just like I just by myself. Like, I could think. I could hear my thoughts.
Of course, yeah. That's part of the experience.
It was the most beautiful, man. But I will do that. I will do it again. Anytime. But anyway, I had my meeting up my family at a campground, so I did a ride, and it was.
So you rode, they drove,
and we made it. They made it,
and then you drove back with them.
Yes.
Okay.
They made it about like 30 minutes before I did.
Oh.
So from start to finish, 170 miles to me, 11 hours. Okay. I only stopped once.
Wow.
One stop. I stopped in
in
Sycamore.
Once. How much water did you have with you?
I only took 4 bottles of water.
Okay.
Total.
Well,
so I had two. I finished. And when I got to
so you only had 4 bottles total. Oh wow.
Total.
Oh man, I don't know how you do that.
And I stopped. And my first stop was in Sycamore.
Okay.
and I refilled in Sycamore, and then
And I would have needed easily twice that amount of water.
yeah, but I was by myself. I think I averaged like a little bit over 16, so it was
Still.
like 17 miles so an hour. So it was good. And again, I wasn't pushing myself, right? It was
Right.
I was just at a very chill pace, and then I was like, oh, this is good. This is
All right.
easy going. It was awesome.
I've never
I'll do
ridden
it
that
again.
distance. I think the furthest I've been is probably like, I don't know, 110, 112 or something like that. I've never pushed beyond that.
Yeah, and then and Zwift, I've spent like over 6 hours on the bike.
I don't know how you do that either.
Non-stop.
Wow. Well, yeah, but then you can line up a bunch of bottles, right?
Yeah, you see all the bottles.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, I got all I line up like 6 bottles before I start. I mean,
yeah,
I have bottles that matches my bike. And if you notice me, I'm like that.
I have.
So I got red bottles for red bike. I got black bottles for black bike. And then I got white bottles for white bike. I don't have my white bike anymore because I actually gave it away recently because I was using it and somebody really wanted the bike and I gave it to the person.
Yeah.
I was a seller and the person was like, man, I don't have it. I'm like, you know what?
You had enough bikes?
Yeah, right. Let's take it. And I gave it away. And the guy fixed it. He's riding the bike right. I'm like, that's pretty awesome. Yeah. So you can't beat it. So I guess when you ride your bike, you ride it for like mental health, fitness. So what's the
probably motivation? Everyone does it for different reasons, right? I don't know. I my main motivation was, I'm not even sure, but I just rode it as a kid. I enjoyed it. I did those bike tours. I enjoyed that. And I always did it with like my cousin. Before I started riding with the groups, he and I would do it together. And that was kind of our social thing. We'd ride afterwards. We'd go somewhere, grab a beer and stuff like that and hang out. So that was always fun. And then it was always just exploring, you know, what can you find? You start riding here. We didn't always go somewhere with a game plan. So that was kind of how it started, but over time it's evolved. I mean, now it fills so many things. Like one thing is for health, for clearing your mind, for just keeping a rhythm from one day to the next. Because you know you don't want to do too many things in life, but you also don't want to run out of things to do. So if you have like idle time, you know, you just end up doing silly things. So. But over time, you know, there's a social element to it. So, I mean, it's everything you might imagine, I guess, is kind of true. Yeah. For me, I mean, it's not very unique or interesting, I suppose. But yeah, I mean, it does all those things. And you know what it's like, you get out there, you're riding and every time it just clears your mind.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, I'm riding, people realize that I'm riding sometimes and I'm actually doing troubleshooting my experiments in my mind.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Sometimes I'll be thinking through, how am I going to take care of this thing? How am I going to figure this next problem out? And yeah, you'll do that while you're riding. But, you know, you still have to stay focused on the ride. So it's a weird mix of things, right? It's like you've got enough happening just in your head just to keep it safe and to pay attention. Okay, is there going to be a sprint here? What's going to happen?
Yep.
And then at the same time, it calms you enough that you start thinking about a few things. So it's a weird mix. It's not like that thing where you know, like you're in the shower, then your mind totally wanders, right? It's a little different.
Yeah. Gotcha. So what's one of your most, you think, memorable biking experience? Mm-hmm. One, and two, what's one of your most favorite bike routes in this area?
Okay.
So we can go cheat. We can go steal it.
Most memorable. Gosh, I have no idea what my most memorable is. Let me think. I don't know if this is my most memorable, but it's what's popping up in my head right now, maybe because we were talking about it earlier. So that Nova Scotia trip, when I took when I was a kid, we got all stretched out, the whole group, and I don't know how far behind people that were behind me. I don't know how far back they were. People in front of me, I don't know how far ahead they were, but I was completely by myself. And Nova Scotia, it's more Maine than Maine. It's like way far north in Canada along the coast. And it's just, there's hardly any population there. So you go miles and miles and miles, you don't see a soul, no cars, no bikes, no people walking. You don't even see a dog out there, right? So I was on this sport touring bike, not really designed to carry heavy load. I had easily 50 pounds on the back, completely unbalanced. And I'm going, and we only had rim brakes back then. And I think I don't think I had steel rims. I think they were LA rims, but they weren't great. And I'm going down this steep hill and the speed's picking up and picking up and picking up. And I had one of these first cat eye electronic speedometers and odometer, and that's all it did. It showed you, it had time, speed, and distance. That's it. And you can only display one thing at a time. You had a button. And the thing used to max out, I think it was 42 or maybe it was 52 miles per hour. And beyond that, it would just show the max. So I'm going down the speeds building, and all of a sudden, the bike starts shimmying because it's totally unbalanced. And it's shimmying more and more and more. And I looked at the speedometer, and it was maxed out. I'm like, I don't know how fast I'm going, but I'm going 50, 60 miles an hour easy on this. And I'm like, uh-oh. What if I have to stop? What if and I'm looking ahead and I see like there's intersections, right? And I'm thinking, uh-oh, like, so things start shimmying like this much, like my handlebars are going like this. So I clamp the top tube between my my thighs, and I'm pushing as hard as I can. I'm holding as steady as I can, and I'm feathering that back brake. And I'm thinking, do I want to put more effort into stopping and risk blowing the tire off the rim, or do I want to save myself from running through an intersection and getting T-boned, or do I want to? So I'm riding this thing out, and as luck would have it, no cars came, and eventually the slope flattened out, and I finally slowed down. But that was terrifying. So I don't know. That's one memory.
Wow, I'm getting like chills by imagining a 13, 14-year-old kid. Right?
That was scared out of my mind. Yeah.
You're like, I'm approaching terminal velocity, and everything is just.
I was just worried a car was going to nail me from an intersection, but
wow, yeah. That's
and no one was there, right? You have to just believe me because no one
exactly.
was a witness.
So if you fell, then nobody saw it that you didn't fall. Nothing happened.
Yeah, that's right.
Then I probably found it a couple of days later, like somewhere.
Yeah, right. Wherever my body.
Yeah. But something missing because you're in the wilderness.
Exactly.
Because there's like bears and wolves and all sorts of different things up there. Wow. Yeah. So what were your favorite place to bike around in Chicago? Like
in Chicago?
Or in the area?
Yeah, I think I like. With Plaza, the Sunday rides, which is that's my favorite Plaza day because we always go out to the school out in Long Grove, and then when we get there, we decide what we're going to do, and then. Yeah, we've got our tried and true routes, but sometimes we'll experiment and do something a little different. So when we get out there, I like getting out to like Barrington Hills or Algonquin, or there's another area, but it's a little too far to go on a Sunday, but there's Bull Valley that's got a bunch of hills. Wakanda area I like as well. Some of the side streets through there. You've been on some of them.
So
those are some of my favorites.
We start from the school, would that be easier, more access? What would be the distance from there, from the school?
Oh, if we started from the school, we could get to Bull Valley. Yeah, because the school's like a little more than 20 miles away. So going there and back, so that's a 40-mile investment plus whatever you do once you get out there. So if we started from the school, you'd lop 40 miles off the ride. So I think if you try to do anything, even a little bit of Bull Valley from like our area here, I'm sure it would, maybe you'd get a little bit in if you turned it into a century, but not much more than that. So to make it worthwhile, you'd lop that 40 miles off.
So that's not too bad then. If it's a 100-mile day, that's not, because you can start us at 6:30, so it wouldn't be so bad. But
Bull Valley, you'd probably only get 2 miles in Bull Valley if you turned it into a century or something like that. So,
got you.
Yeah, you have to, but yeah, there's Algonquin, there's.
I know Volts. I love the roads in Volts, and I love the Polar riding guys. I love Cuban Road up that way.
Cuban Road's great.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, especially the GT routes are pretty good too.
We had never done any GT route, but probably biked in some of the same paths. But man,
you would enjoy that ride if you got yourself up to Deerfield on. I think it's in Deerfield. It's Waukegan and Deerfield roads is where they start. On Saturdays, the GT routes are pretty good. Yeah, and they're fast guys. Fast, smooth, safe. You do good with that team.
Yeah, one day, man. I wish they were in so far, man. It's just
I know. Even for me, it's a 12-mile ride just to get there.
So if it's 12 for you, it would be
close to 20. Yeah,
close to 20 for me.
And they start, I think, at 6:30 on a Saturday. So I mean that you got to get up early. Yeah.
Same reason why I keep on missing the GT ride on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because I want to
Yeah,
go
I
to
don't do
James
it
Brown,
either.
but
It's too far.
still, I mean,
Yeah.
for you, just because I'm
Too
like
far for me.
I'm
It's
6
even
miles away
further
from
for
you,
Yeah,
so
exactly.
still a lot to go.
Yeah, it'd be 18 miles just to get there.
Yeah.
Which means you need like a solid hour to get up there. I mean, maybe not quite as much, but you got to plan for it, right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'm still exploring. I mean, I did a lot of new groups this year that I never knew existed. I've done like touring rides, I've done the Monday night ride, and all these other rides I've never done before.
You should like catalog all the different groups you've been with, because
I have the jerseys. Really I have the jerseys. So okay. I have the jerseys from different groups I'm in, right? Okay. So I have maybe 7, 8 jerseys from different.
So how many groups are you in? You're in 7 or 8 groups?
No, I'm in all the groups. I'm in all the groups. Even the female groups, I sneak myself.
There you go.
Because if you go to ChicagoGroupRides.com, you can see all the rides, and I just go visit people.
ChicagoGroupRides.com.
Okay. You can see all the rides, all the days, and if you want to add Plaza right to it, you can add Plaza. You email the guy from Half Acre, and so this is the group I'm in, and we meet, and they'll add your times and stuff there.
Interesting. So well, I would defer to Murray on that.
Of course, but Cortado could do the same thing too. Sure. If they want to open it to people, and for example, people from out of town and they're in the Winneck or Wilmette, they can just, this is a ride and this is a pace, and
it's groups that do that. Like when I travel, which isn't often, but when I travel with a bike, I always appreciate that. Like once I went to San Diego and I showed up for this group ride, and I think it was a Saturday. There were so many people at this group ride. There were, no joke, there were hundreds of people, and they had an A group, a B group, a C group, and then they had like 3 or 4 different, like all of them were C and D groups, but they were going on different routes, and they had, I don't know, different details. And there were so many people. They had a bullhorn to announce, like, okay, this group's going then, and this is what to expect, and this is how you're going to behave to keep it safe. I mean, it was amazing. But yeah,
that's like Critical Mass downtown, which is, I think, is today. Because a lot of people think about going to Critical, because it's the last Friday of the month. I think it's Critical Mass.
Do they do that in the day?
Or no, it's evening. Yeah, okay. So I know some people going, but I've actually done create a story. Miami at Critical Mass. Okay. Right, so I had like a Mongoose mountain bike when I forgot from friend Sharif, and the Critical Mass is very slow, so you can go on whatever bike you have. Sure. So I've done Critical Mass like 25, 26 miles, riding in Miami. Go from downtown Miami across to South Beach and come back up, and then do a loop, and then at the end just hang out and have a good time. So one day I had the brilliant idea of saying, "Wait a minute, it's about 25 miles and." It's a huge group. Okay, from start to finish, there's probably like a 2-mile difference from the first of the pack to the end of the pack.
That's how long
it is. And they take over all the streets of Miami. People have all sort of different bikes and stuff, and one-wheel, unicycle, all sort of different things. So one day I said, aha, I'm going to run the course.
Oh, okay.
So I've actually run Critical Mass course in Miami before.
And is that...
And I finished with the guys.
Is it a full marathon, roughly?
It was like about 25 miles. It was less than a mile, but it was...
You didn't add on a mile?
I thought about it when I get to the finish. I'm like, nah, I'm good. I'm done. But I actually run Critical Mass before.
That's awesome.
I finished before the last people came in. And then
you start with the front group
and finish. And just finish. And people are like, I'm like, yeah, man. That was pretty awesome.
That is really cool.
That's the good old days of me as a runner. That was really fun.
So what was your most memorable biking moment?
Jesus. I ain't gonna lie. Almost every time I ride with my wife is like always one of the funnest time. No, like legit, like legitimately, like just going with her and we'll do everything. We'll stop for coffee and everything. That's probably my favorite experience. Now, when it comes to like biking and having fun time and stuff, something that really people don't think about these things, but I do, because on Wednesday night ride, right, which happened like a few months ago, they have like 5 different sprint points, and you're going up against guys who are trying to win these sprint points. Okay. And these guys race in Chicago. And to some people, they don't think some people it's important to win a sprint because it's a lot of rule, a lot of strategy, and people are trying to work to win the sprint and everything. And there's 5 sprint points. If you can win one, that's fantastic. Okay. Because that's great.
Sure, with all the competition,
with all the
people
competitions.
trying, yeah.
Exactly. And I won all 5.
I'm not surprised.
So
I am not surprised.
I mean, you know, yeah, people might say, oh, more don't race and blah blah, but to win all those 5, it took a lot of work.
For sure.
Okay, and
that's why you don't have to race.
Yeah,
There's enough challenge.
And I wasn't sandbagging. I was pulling, and I was doing everything, and I was helping the group out, and I won all 5. And that was just a moment, and I was like, wow. I look at them like, all these guys, you guys race, you guys are cat 1s, cat 2s, cat 3s, 5, 4s, and everything.
Sure.
And I'm like, I was biking with all you guys, and we were pushing each other.
Sure.
And that was just one of my
but you got
favorite.
You have some pretty impressive peak power numbers that you can output.
Yeah. I guess it's a Jamaican curse. I guess I got a fast twitch, and I've been working on it, and I've been working again. It's also about number system, and I know who's in the group, what they can do, what I can do, and I know like when I launch, when to launch, who's behind me, what to do, and all these different things, and it helps.
Yeah, you're very good with the strategy as well. I am not, but you are.
Yeah, so that was probably one of my best memories of biking here, and for sure. But anytime I bike with my wife, that's just like number one.
Yeah,
hands down. And again, there's just meeting the different people when you bike. I can't beat that stuff,
Right.
Biking to the Wisconsin border with the guys, and you go to the group, and you also, for me, it's always like memorable to me that when I see people are struggling, and I can go to the front and I can just pull the group and help people out.
Yeah.
Or you fall behind and sweep somebody, bring them back to the group, like these little things.
Sure.
To some people, like, but I'm like, these are things that just makes biking fun, and
keep it cooperative.
Exactly.
I like the interplay with being cooperative, but also a little bit competitive at the same time. I like that dynamic in cycling.
Yeah. So, have you had some Jamaican food?
I've had Jamaican food. I love Jamaican food.
What's your favorite thing like in Jamaican food?
Oh,
I guess you've been in the area.
Oh, see, I don't know what Jamaican restaurants we have. I don't frequent them much, but I mean, you run into it various times. Sometimes people cater it. Sometimes they'll show up. So I don't know where they even are. I have to ask you.
Yeah, I mean, I know. There's one called Claire's Kitchen on Claire. She's pretty awesome. There's one in Church and Dodge.
Okay, so that's in Evanston?
In Evanston.
Okay.
There's one in the shopping mall center area where the Valleys is. It's called Kingston
what's
Grill.
The best one?
Man, I like Claire's.
Okay.
I like
and that's
Claire's.
The one on Church and Dodge.
That's an Emerson and Dodge.
Emerson Dodge. Okay.
She's pretty awesome. And if you want something that's more kind of home feeling style, the one in Church and Dodge, right on the north side of Evanston High School. There's one right in the corner.
So those are pretty close to
each other. That's more kind of a home style.
Okay.
And then if you want some good food, for Kingston Grill, I think is pretty good. But Claire's Kitchen is good stuff.
Okay.
So check it out. Good stuff
for sure.
What about you? Are you like into beer and stuff like that? Like your Red Stripe, Level the Vibes with some Red Stripe.
It's funny. I used to be into beer and whiskeys and stuff like that. And don't get me wrong, I'll still enjoy one here and there, but COVID did its different things to different people. And when COVID started and we were all sort of at home with our families and not much else in terms of the social experience, first few months I was drinking a little bit more. And so my wife doesn't drink at all because she just doesn't like it. She doesn't like what it does to her. So just drinking alone, and it's like, So I kind of just naturally stopped drinking and started drinking less and less and less. And now it's gotten to the point where it's almost like a special occasion if I'm having a drink. So
gotcha. So
it doesn't really happen anymore. And that's
which is fine. It's
totally fine. Yeah. I mean, it's still, you put a nice beer in front of me, I'm going to enjoy it.
You need to come to one of the. Have you ever been in one of the Cortado beer?
Sure.
Have you been one before?
A handful, yeah.
Those are always fun times. The Cortado,
like the beer rides.
The brewer rides, right?
Yeah, brewer rides. Those are fun. Actually, I used to do that Bicycle Club of Lake County. They have a beer ride as well, and there was one we went on. And we went to, I don't know, it had to be 6 different breweries, but one of the other places we stopped at was in Lake Bluff. They've got a distillery, so we stopped at the distillery as well. And they have like gins and vodkas and absinthe, and not great stuff. And aquavit, but their product, like I don't drink that stuff, but their product was really good, and I was enjoying it. And by the end of that, I rode home. I was so blitzed. It was brutal. I'm like, whoa. And I had taken
that's a good memory that you have.
I don't know. I had a bike that I actually had panniers on it. So when we were at the distillery, I bought some of their products and I loaded up my panniers. So I'm riding the thing and home, and I'm hoping I don't fall over, I don't break my bottles.
That's so funny. So what's the motivation behind your T-shirt? You get a T-shirt? That's pretty cool.
Oh, my kids got me this many years ago. I don't know. I just put it on. What do I have on?
OCD.
Oh, yeah.
Diagnosed.
Yeah.
Obsessive cycling disorder.
Yeah. They got me this one. They got me another one where, you have like the evolution of our species through, starting with the chip type thing, getting talked on, then the last one's a bicycle. Yeah.
I like it. I like it.
Then there's a T-shirt. I don't have this one anymore. There's another one that says "Life Behind Bars," but it's handlebars.
Those are very, very common. T-shirt. I think I have what? I think I must have some Rad Dad or something like that, or my kids they got me some little stuff here and there. Because for me now, I'm at the point now when it comes to Christmas gifts, I tell my family, please give me stuff that's related to biking. Buy me gels because I'm going to use those. Yeah, sure. Buy me electrolytes, tires, inner tubes.
There you go.
Those things. I don't want no more clothes. I'm good at clothes. I don't need any of that stuff. Does anything bike related?
Yeah, that's a good idea.
Beam me up.
Yeah.
Don't forget, I'm sure maybe they can give me a Varia for Christmas.
Oh.
Yeah. Everybody have one now.
Yeah, it makes it safer.
Yeah. Makes it safer. Everybody have one.
Yeah.
And I just upgrade to a 1040 now for my garment, for my head unit, because I destroyed the screen on my 530 and I was able to replace the screen and it still works.
Okay.
It popped out.
Yeah, you sent a picture.
Yeah, it popped out and I was able to buy a screen and fix it.
So now you have two.
No, I have two.
So you can put one on, I don't know, the indoor bike or something?
No, but indoor, it already have the Wahoo kicker. So everything is registered already. So true. I have everything. That one over there, that's like set. That's like, I jump on, everything's set to go. It's never doing anything.
So that bike won't ever go outside again?
Possibly. I might take it for gravel because it has a big clearance.
Ah, okay.
So I'm going to get some, like maybe some 38s or some 40 and see if they can fit on it. And I'll probably take it for gravel. Because
Well, the titanium bike that I just got, it's a road race bike, but I was looking at it after I had it built up and I was looking at the dropouts and the clearance and I thought, I bet I could get 40s in there if I went to 650B. So I bought, it was a risk because I didn't know if it was going to work. So I bought 650B rims and put 40s on it. Fit perfect. And I was thinking, I just bought some cheap discs to put on there for the brakes. And I thought, this is going to be a nuisance. I'm going to have to shim them to get them exactly the right spot to line up with the calipers and all that. But I put them on, just didn't do a thing.
And it works?
Perfect. Everything was aligned perfect.
Awesome.
And it rides exactly the same.
I never thought about that.
The extra tire size makes up for
the rim size.
Yeah, if you do the numbers on it, because I'm a numbers guy, then it's like riding on the full size 700C rims with 19s instead of 28s. So it's not that big of a difference. I can't tell the difference. It actually handles better than my gravel bike in gravel.
Because it's a 650cc and not 700, so maybe.
Yeah, well, the difference, I think it's a 622 and 584. So those are so it's 16 and 22. So it's like a 38 millimeter difference in rim diameter. But
I need to figure it out because I've never gone to like anything bigger than 32, but this clear 32 easily.
Sure.
So I think it might clear 38. And 30, I think for gravels around here should be all right.
Well, you know what
If
you can
get
do?
40, maybe I'll try
Is
it.
that's Shimano, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Shimano.
What you can do, you can just take my 650 wheels and stick
Try
them in
it
there and
and
see
see if
what
it works.
happens.
Yeah.
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 Totally. I mean, all you do is like I have it. I only have one cassette, so you just slap your cassette on there and off you'll go. Yeah, try them out.
Let's figure something out. Yeah. So anything you want to so anything you want to leave us with? I know like what's like something that you live by or by or your mantra.
Very deep. Very deep.
Very deep. So let's get to a very deep moment now.
Oh, I don't know.
To see what the Plaza Diesel has to say.
I mean, look, I'm just out there to have fun and maybe I'm trying to get better at it. I'm only competing against myself, but I try to get better at it. One of the things I always struggle with cycling is pacing. I'm not good at pacing myself, and like power meters really helped me with that. And then a few years ago, I decided, I want to be out front. I want to be one of the diesel guys in front who can just go the whole time, not push it, but just keep the whole group going if need be. So I worked at it for a bunch of years, and now, I can do that. And I learned that it doesn't get easier, but you can do it. And so, no real words of wisdom. I'd say, so cycling in Chicago, I don't know what it's like in other cities, but maybe a little bit in New York, I know what it's like, but it seems like there's just so many cyclists in Chicago. Like, it's just shocking. And I've been riding my bike for so many years, and before 2008, I was pretty much just doing it with people I know, like for other reasons, not with groups. And now that I've started riding with groups, I'm just shocked how many people are out. I mean, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people every day. I mean, you can, like, there's 3 or 4 places I can go every day and know if I go there at this time, there will be people there to go with, and it's just shocking. So I think Chicago is a very good place for it. We got flat terrain, so makes barrier for entry is pretty low, and
that's exactly what Peloton said. It's so flat you can just get out your door and you're biking.
Exactly. And now every time I go riding, almost every time I go riding, it's just out my back door. I don't throw the bike in the car at all. But I'd say as we get older, we all have to do something. Otherwise, we're going to start to atrophy in many ways, right? Physically, mentally, the works, and socially too. You're going to atrophy socially if you don't do something. So it doesn't have to be cycling. It doesn't even have to be sports, but find something to do with yourself. And I think cycling, I mean, I'm lucky, and I think you're lucky. Many of us are lucky if you really enjoy it. It's one of those sports, I guess, that as you age, you can kind of always do it, because it can be taxing on your body because of the whole gearing system a bike has. You can make it as taxing as you want it to be, and you can come home winded and completely spent every day if you want to. But also your joints aren't going to get messed up. Like if you go run a marathon, you're out there.
You need 2 days to recover, 2-3 days.
You're going to be out. Most people, it's going to be 4 hours, Maybe some people are really fast. They do it in 3, but most people are going to be out there for 4 hours. You go out and ride your bike for 4 hours. So you could do that 7 days in a row on a bike. Not that everybody wants to, but if you did, you'll still be okay. You'll still function, right? So I think it's one of those sports that, like, people have problems with their knees. People have, sometimes I'll throw my back out. I literally can't walk, but somehow I can still get on a bike. I could still go ride 60 miles at the same speed. It's just very good for keeping at it. So I like that aspect of it.
Very good. Very good. So just again, if you get into biking, you really enjoy it, just do it for the right reasons. Again, I do it for mental health. I do it for the social aspect. I do it to push myself, to push others, help people to get better, to get myself better, and just to learn about like group dynamics, learn things from cultural, because there's so many people in Chicago, like different backgrounds, right?
Right.
And that says before, and you get to learn about people and places and things. We have Hassan, we have people that come from Arizona that comes to bike with us, and New York, and all the place.
The other neat thing is, and it's probably not a cycling thing, it's just any social network, there's so many people that are doing so many different things. So you have all this different perspective on other things happening.
And in general, kind of unfair, but in general, a lot of people who are bikers or typically somewhat people are kind of professionals because you need someone to actually buy a bike. That's so you get to also be around professional people like yourself.
Sure.
Like, I do it because again, I get to learn from a lot of people who are professional. They have some of these people have families like the older crowd like myself. Family, grandkids, all the cool stuff. So that's
you say that, but like, so think about who we have in our group. We've got Drew on Plaza Drew, right? He was a mechanic, right? So there's your blue collar example. Scott, what does Scott do? Scott
builds house, right? And paints and paints.
He's handyman stuff, contracting stuff. You got Willie, the Irish guy, similar things he does. Bicycle Club of Lake County that I started riding with, first group I started riding with when I returned from New York, almost everybody there is blue collar.
And Kathy's she caters and stuff like that.
She does her own catering, yeah. Or she runs her own catering company, yeah.
And then like you have what's her name again? I'm going Ruth. She's a retired teacher,
biology
retired teacher, and all the cool stuff. Again, the list just goes on, and this is something I really like about biking. As I get older, I get to be around people that's more professional and stuff, and it's very helpful to be in that crowd. But again,
well, you're a professional yourself.
Yes, that's something I enjoy that aspect of stuff. Like for example, we have like cardiologists, scientists, all sorts of different people, and I get to engage myself. People in finances and AI, and you can't beat that. So in younger crowds,
there's always something to talk about.
Exactly. Right? We never go like have a blank moment. It's like always like, oh, I didn't know that. And then for me, we're like Wednesday night ride afterwards, we stay at 7-Eleven, which is right here. Sometimes it's 11 o'clock at night, and we talk to all the guys. I'm like, I didn't know that. The last time we went to 7-Eleven, the conversation was, who here has been to jail before? And like, three of the guys are like, yeah, I've been to jail before. I'm like, I've never been to jail before. It's like, what do you do to go to jail? And they start telling a story about this junking, they were drunk or whatever. And I'm like, wow. So and these guys are so open, and they would talk, and you learn, exchange, I would call it exchange manly stories about life and things, and this all the interesting things in life. And this is like, wow, man, this is pretty awesome. So I love that aspect of Chicago life and the people here.
I've been detained. I can't say I've been to jail, but
I've been detained. I'm just learning that. I've never been detained or been to jail. I'm sorry. I've got a speeding ticket before, but that's about it.
Sure.
But I've never. Interesting. Guys, we have the Plaza Diesel.
Well, thanks.
That's his nickname now. If you ever see him, and if you see him out there in Plaza, right, and you watch this video, you know exactly why I call it Plaza Diesel, because I guarantee in a Plaza ride, he's probably pulling for 40 to 60% of the time. He's at the front.
Maybe at most.
And then when Scott do their sprinting thing, and when I'm there, I help with the pulling, and I'm like, are you going to pull? Do your thing.
Always glad to have you.
I show up and I do my thing too, and we always have a blast. Jeff Greco.
Yeah.
That's his name. If you see him, guys, don't be shy. He has many bikes. He shows up in his Plaza kit, or he's in his Cortada jersey. We hang out. We have a blast. And again, don't be a stranger, right?
Well, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show, man. I really appreciate it. Come and share these things. I didn't know that you're at 10 years old, you're like 90 miles at 10 years old. Like, who does that?
Only one time.
But still, that,
it's usually half as far.
You find me one 10-year-old kid right now in Chicago has ridden his bicycle 90 miles.
Well, it's a different world now.
Exactly, right? So it's all different times and play and things. But to see that you have this experience, that's just beautiful. And, biking in New York and what you do with your life, that's again, Jeff is in the network, guys. If you see him on the road, guys, don't be a stranger. You want to come and have fun. We're always here to, again, spread the word and just be nice to people. I think he's definitely one of the nice guys out there. Very welcoming. When I bike right back with him, always welcoming and never grumble like some of the other guys that we bike with when something happens. And there's always a positive attitude towards people and to life. And I really, really enjoy biking with you, like legit. And I know when I'm out there, you're going to challenge me, and I can always, when I get tired, I can depend on him to take over and do his thing.
Likewise, depend on you if you're
we work it out, and we just keep the group going and engaged. And we appreciate. I can tell this, Plaza truly is very fortunate to have you. And you're a
Thank
blessing
you.
to them. And
Fortunate to have them.
they
for
don't
sure.
say it, but they really and truly appreciate you.
Well,
Right.
it took time. It took me a few years to
Yeah, but
to ingratiate myself.
but it's there, and I know for sure Uncle Murray appreciates you and all the people there. So
yeah. Well,
guys, Jeff is a network. Just keep it going. Stay positive. Bike for the right reasons, and just keep the miles going.
Which is any reason that gets you on the bike.
Exactly. Exactamente. Right. So guys, let's keep it going. Keep the miles and smiles going until we meet again, guys. One love, and we're gonna have more amazing people on the show.